Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Got the D-Man here, and today's topic is resilience. Hang in here because resilience is very important for you in achieving whatever it is you desire. Without resilience, the ability to bounce back, you will give up and not persist. You will not have enough determination without resilience. It kind of works together, determination and resilience. What is the definition of resilience? Well, let's see what the dictionary has to say about it. But first, smash that like button and subscribe. And welcome to my many new subscribers. I appreciate you, as well as my faithful subscribers that have been with me here since the beginning. Sparty. I have a Sparty, two Sparties actually, but I have the Sparty Fortune, the Sparty Fortune. Check him out on YouTube. And I have my other friend, Sparty Fortune, in, I can't remember what country you're in, but he has been a faithful follower of me since the beginning. So here we go. Resilience, the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Toughness, the often remarkable resilience of so many British institutions. 2, the ability of a substance or object to spring back, and you are that object, into shape. Elasticity. Nylon is excellent in wearability and resilience. And those are two definitions of resilience. Let me see. We'll go down here to people ask, what is the meaning of being resilient? To be resilient. Are you resilient? If not, hang in here and you can discover how you can be resilient. Successful people have the ability to bounce back from any setback or disappointment or discouragement. Okay. Able to become strong, healthy, or successful again after something bad happens. Something seemingly bad. Sometimes we think something is bad, and actually, as we look back in retrospect, it turns out to be the best thing that ever happened to us. Able to return to an original shape after being pulled, stretched, pressed, bent, etc. I'm telling you what, if you want to be successful, if you want to stand above the rest, if you want to be a high-value man or woman, you have to have the ability to bounce back. You have to have the ability to be stretched, pulled, knocked down, pressed out, and beaten up in all manner of ways. So remember that. That's how you build character, and it takes character to handle any kind of success. Without character, any success you have will be temporary because you will not be able to handle it. You will self-sabotage, and I've done that before. Okay, I'm speaking from experience. My experience and the experience of others who I've helped. Okay, I found this article on Building Your Resilience, American Psychological Association. We all face trauma, adversity, and other stresses. Here's a roadmap for adapting to life-changing situations and emerging even stronger than before. I focus on topics here that will help you in all aspects of your life, because life is a series of problems, and it's up to us to find and live in the solutions. It's my hope that I can offer you solutions for whatever problems or challenges you have in your life. Actually, it's better to use the word challenge whenever you are confronted with a situation that seems to be difficult, because it helps you view it from a different perspective. Challenging situations. Okay. Imagine you're going to take a raft trip down a river, along with slow water and shallows. Your map shows that you will encounter unavoidable rapids and turns. How would you make sure you can safely cross the rough waters and handle any unexpected problems that come from the challenge? Perhaps you would enlist the support of more experienced rafters as you plan your route or rely on the companionship of trusted friends along the way. Maybe you would pack an extra life jacket or consider using a stronger raft. With the right tools and supports in place, one thing is sure. You will not only make it through the challenges of your river adventure, you will also emerge a more confident and courageous rafter. Many people want more confidence and more courage, higher self-esteem, greater self-worth. You acquire these things by putting yourself in challenging situations, such as this raft trip, or whatever it happens to be, a job interview, asking a girl out, approaching a girl that you think is out of your league. Well, no one is out of your league. Nothing is out of your league unless you believe it is. And if you think it is, you can rise in consciousness to that level. But you must do that. You can only do that within yourself first. But you have to believe it is possible. If you do not believe it is possible, you will never take the action to do it. It reminds me of a story I heard about a young man. He wanted to be a doctor. He was from a third world poor country. Of course, he had no way of ever going to college to pay for it, but he wanted to be a doctor. So he started working for this doctor in his local area, but he still had no way to ever pay for college because, as I said, he came from a poor family. So as he worked for this doctor saw that he had an interest in becoming a doctor. So the doctor allowed him to do certain things around the office in regards to helping his patients. And as he saw that this young man had a lot of interest, he started showing him more things. And this boy continued to dream about being a doctor. So eventually, long story short, this doctor paid for his way to go to college, and now today he is a doctor. His dream came true. But let's look back at the beginning of that story. What if he would have said, well, there's no way, I come from poverty. I will never be able to afford to pay to go to college to become a doctor. He would have never persisted. He probably never would have put out the effort he did or showed the interest he did with this doctor who was able to pay his way through college, because he wouldn't have believed it ever to be possible. He would have given up on his dream. He would have quit imagining that he was a doctor. He would have just done something else. And thus it never would have happened. So whenever you have a dream, don't limit yourself. We are limitless. But here's what we do sometimes. We think of some magnificent, glorious thing we want to do or acquire. It just pops into our head, a desire. All our desires are God-given. You would not have the desire, a true desire, were it not possible to achieve that. But what we do is we first think, well, I could never afford that, or that's too much for me, or I wouldn't want that much money because it would corrupt me. I used to think that years ago. I wouldn't want to win $1 million in a lottery. If I got that, it would just destroy me. Well, that's bull crap. Well, maybe it would have back then. But if you believe that, that's exactly what's going to happen. That's one of the ways how we keep ourselves small. Well, I can't afford that. I can't pay for that. I could never do that. They would never want me to work at that place. I would never be able to have my own business. I don't know anything about bookkeeping, etc., etc., etc. We keep ourselves small, or we blame the government, we blame other people, we blame industry, we blame the boss. No, there is no one to blame but ourselves. We have control over our destiny with our thoughts. What is the old saying? I am the captain of my soul, the master of my destiny. That may not be correct, but something like that. Okay, let's continue. All right. Perhaps, here we go. What is resilience? Life may not come with a map, but everyone will experience twists and turns, from everyday challenges to traumatic events with more lasting impact. like the death of a loved one, a life-altering accident, or a serious illness. Each change affects people differently, bringing a unique flood of thoughts, strong emotions, and uncertainty. Yet people generally adapt well over time to life-changing situations and stressful situations, in part thanks to resilience. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, we make our plans for the day and God laughs. I heard that this Jewish man told me that. I thought that was funny, but it's somewhat true. You make your plan for the day, and at the end of the day, look at your plan and you tell me who's in charge. Okay, I'm talking about your conception of God, what you believe God to be. That's up to you, okay? But like yesterday, I went to work, everything's going good. I'm training one of my other sons, so we brought him along. He is doing excellent. And I'm in the other room, and all of a sudden, I hear this big crash. I can't even imagine what it is because the house is empty. The homeowners are not moved in yet, and we're painting it for them before they move in. So I run to the bathroom, and he had fallen and broken the pedestal sink, and water is squirting all over the place. And guess what? There's rooms downstairs, so I got to get the water shut off because it will ruin the drywall. So he's okay, got up off the floor. The pedestal sink is busted all over the floor. I don't know where the shut-off valve is, so the homeowner's there, or his son. So I said, hey, shut the water off. So he runs down to shut the water off. And I tell the boys to get some towels or something to wipe up the water. So he gets the water off, but the bathroom is full of water, so we're wiping that down. But long story short, we got the water off, got everything cleaned up, but the water continues to drip down through the ceiling on the basement, so we got to cut out some drywall because the homeowner's worried about mold or some damage. But I just told the homeowner, I said, look, I have insurance, we'll take care of everything. Whatever you need, we'll take care of it. And he was actually thanking me for taking such responsibility, but the reality is I'm responsible. It's like I told him, I said, hey, we broke it. I'm responsible for it. So sometimes these things can turn out to be a good thing. I hope it's not too costly, but I do have insurance just in case. Like I said before, I'm not one big on insurance, but some things you have to have it. But that's just one example of I planned my day, but it did not go according to plan. Now, if you look at that, you think that's a bad thing, but is it? Okay, I'll guarantee you my character will be built through this situation. It's given me the ability to rise up more than just to the daily usual problems or challenges that I have. Now, I wouldn't choose for something like that to happen, and I have to admit that in the middle of a crisis, a job crisis like that, a mess, it's hard to think that it's something good. But I still kept that in mind. I wasn't like laughing and singing about it, but what I'm telling you is there is good in every situation. You can't always see it, and you may never see it. If nothing else, it will build your character and strengthen you. And if you have dreams to become more, you have to have more character. It changes your reactions to life, because things like that in the past would have pretty well just made me want to quit hiring anyone, okay? Or I probably wouldn't have brought my son back to work for a while, but he'll be working today. So that's just one example of resilience. Did I create this resilience on my own? No, it's been, added unto me as my life has gone on. Things that bothered me years ago terribly don't make any difference to me at all today. But it's a process, and life or God, however you want to choose it, will allow you to build resilience and character. You just have to cooperate. Okay, that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining me. Remember, be resilient today. Try to find the good in everything that happens to you. Even the seemingly bad events, there is good in there. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me.